the stock market, meaning companies, new highs.
I'm not fucking leaving. The show goes on. They're nuts. They know nothing.
An online network called Internet.
Well, it's very hip to be on the internet right now. Welcome, my degenerates. The rest of your life starts right now on Market Mania. The no bullshit approach to all financial markets, from Bitcoin and darknets to political betting. And of course, right here, the largest casino in the world, where I sit, the U.S. stock market. I'm your host, Brian Micon, financial genius, Bitcoin class of 2011, and played poker. Joining me are my fellow degens, Brett Ritchie and Tony the producer. That's right, Tony the producer, ladies and gentlemen. Glance can't make it today. He's trading too hard. And Tony also puts this whole thing together. Brett does Blitz Pick. And this is Market Mania. Yeah, buddy. Tony, let's get right into it.
Right on.
This is another crazy day in the markets. You're here.
Yeah,
You're
absolutely. Well, you know, Matt's a little busy making real money, so I thought I'd just beam in from orbit, grace you guys with my presence, and talk about a few things on my mind. So,
sounds good. Let's jump right into it. The Trump stimulus. It was a flip-flop. He was flip-flop. If anybody remembers that from 25 years ago. And it looks like at the end, he tanked the market yesterday. Brett Ritchie, I don't know if you had the Robinhood locked and loaded for this, but he 238 yesterday or so. Trump's like, no stimulus till after the election. And then the market's dumped. But then like everybody was like, wait, hold on now. What the hell? You know, and then he reversed.
Yeah, I was a little glad I didn't start the Robinhood challenge yesterday. That would have been just at least a quick minus 5% right off the bat. I don't quite know what Trump was doing. He reversed course. I think it was some sort of political maneuver, but it backfired. I mean, everybody was recoiling when your whole thing is, hey, I'm the guy that makes the markets go up, and they tank 5% on a tweet. You know, you really screwed up. So he's now back saying, hey, look, I'll sign a deal straight up stimulus checks. Give me that. I'll sign a deal straight up PPP and like maybe one other thing. Like I'll do that. So break it off. So because he really doesn't want to fund the Democratic governments. But like people don't care. They just want these checks. So you guys got to get a deal done is what everyone's saying.
Tony, he's going to ship the stimulus. Everybody needs 1,200. It's a socialist ideology, but nobody cares because they need the money.
Yeah,
what's going to happen?
This is peak Weimar stuff. This is not good. But, you know, I think what happened was Trump was away with COVID, wasn't paying attention. Jerome Powell came out the day that he came out of the hospital saying no stimulus is enough. He basically called for the fire hose, begged for it. And Trump must not have been paying attention because he comes out tweeting, I'm not doing a deal with the Democrats, no stimulus for you. So markets were listening to Powell on the one hand, and then Trump tweets on the other. He must have gotten notification, like someone bumped their elbow and said, sir, and he may have gotten caught up on matters and then realized, oh, wait, we need this stimulus. The markets depend on it. In fact, this entire market is all stimulus. So we saw it yesterday. Proof positive.
Richie, do we have the odds or anything? Did we know, or is it basically the same?
I mean, the odds are the market, right? And so it's up 1.5% today, which means that there's at least some hope based on his late night tweets. I think it's not all the way back, obviously, but I think there's some hope. I mean, I think it will happen. It just makes too much sense not to. If it doesn't happen now, he's going to shoulder the blame for it, I think, unless he can blame, he's carved out the piecemeal portions, and now, hey, if there's no stimulus check, it's Nancy's fault, right? I said I would sign a deal for just that, nothing else. If she won't do it, then it's her fault, and then it's back to the same political bickering that we see all the time.
Endless political posturing from the left and the right, and just always an argument and always an election.
I'll say
it's really broken.
I think it's a good dip to buy. Like either way, this is not like a long-term. Whoever wins, the stimulus is coming. I think the markets are going to rebound. So why not buy the dip?
And if they don't, we get to do what, 1980s Russia, we got bread lines. If it doesn't work out, Tony, the producer, I know you got Zero Hedge locked and loaded along
right.
with a Glock 45 every day. What do you think?
You know what? When you start seeing lines like this for food, it's probably a good idea to also start getting lines around the block for bullets. I hate to say that, but it's true. We haven't seen unemployment like this, bread lines like this since the Great Depression, and this thing's just getting started. So I just wanted to bring this up to remind everybody that the market's one thing, and when that stimulus check comes through and your Robinhood account shoots up, you're not a genius. You're just not fighting the Fed. The real market is out there, and when real price discovery comes for the market, you're going to want to be on the short side of that. How do you time that? I don't know. What do you think, Brett? Am I crazy? Am I insane?
You're right, and this is just furthering the economic divide that has already been getting pretty extreme in the last 10 years or so. I think I saw something that 20% or 25% of low wage jobs haven't come back, and something like 4% of mid to high wage jobs are gone. And so again, it is the poor people that are taking the brunt of this pandemic. And in my opinion, the government's catastrophic decision to be locking all of these things down over something that is really not dangerous. Like, it made sense at first. It's clear now. Let people get back to work. And we're going to see more of this. And mostly, I think at least maybe partially, government shares some blame for this based on their decisions.
Bread lines in Texas, and if we're just getting started, then whoo, baby. Moving along, a new COVID drug. It's an antibody or some such nonsense. Now, what exactly emergency use of the antibody drug? Brett Ritchie, you've been following this.
Been following it a bit. It's very similar to the drug Trump took, and that company's also traded. It went up about 1% today on this news. Lilly here is up 3 or 4%. Yeah, basically there's this arms race between all these different pharmaceutical companies trying to develop drugs that are going to help treat COVID. So these drugs are for if you already have COVID, okay, let's make sure you survive, which you're probably almost always guaranteed to anyway, and feel better, recover more quickly. So not only is there a vaccine arms race, there's a race on like drugs to treat COVID. And so, in my opinion, a lot of these companies are already probably bloated because of this. Everyone's firing on these COVID companies to find the winner. But if you do find the winner, there's a lot of gains to be made.
Antibody drugs, Tony. What do you think? Is this thing, you buying Lilly here? I mean, it's a massive company. Shout out to Indy.
I'd definitely be buying Lilly, and I really like that this is a therapy and not a vaccine. I'm pro-therapy. I'm not sure I ever want to see a vaccine, because when they start getting that, now you're going to have a little app on your phone. Did you get the vaccine? You can't get on this airplane. You can't go to Applebee's unless you've proven you've had this vaccine. They can't force it in your arm, but that's a great way to really put the camel's nose under the tent of all of society, to have a vaccine and then to demand it. So if we have better therapies, I'd feel a lot better about therapies than I do vaccines personally. And I'm not anti-vax. I like vaccines. I think they work. But this whole thing has become very political and a little bit eerie. That's kind of where I'm at. Am I crazy? Sometimes
I can get behind that. It makes sense to me. You don't you don't need to vaccinate against something that is harmless to, like, if you're in a risk category, sure, but if you're young and healthy, I don't think it makes much sense at all. The vaccine's probably way more dangerous.
I mean, I never get the flu vaccine. Every year you always see the CVS has lines out there. A bunch of old people are getting a flu vaccine. I'm like, yeah, I want you to intravenous shoot me up with the stuff. Now my kid, she's getting vaxxed when all the like pre-vax, all the things that you vax a kid for. Hey, yeah, vax her up.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I don't get the flu. I don't know if that's minus CV or
I get
plus
that.
CV.
I think it's plus CV. It's
you just take.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I take it.
Probably not. I'm not like scared of it. I don't think it's like a.
But that's tested, right? It's not. You're not first in line on the new untested COVID vaccine that they rushed out for political purposes.
Right,
I'm out on that.
Yeah,
they get it. You activate Windows 10 now with the vaccine.
Exactly. That's what I'm afraid of. Anyway.
All right. Moving along. Bill Spackman, more like Bill Spackman. So a lot of people know Ackman from, if you follow the markets, famous short seller, not really, but kind of really more famous for his shorts, Pershing Capital, Pershing Square, whatever the hell it's called. It's one of the legendary funds, legendary hedge fund. Guys like been short Herbalife since when I was like going to college still. And I mean, he's got to be lit on that. And Carl Icahn fought him. And if anybody's been following Ackman, the new SPAC thing just went, everybody went SPAC. Everybody's SPACing on everybody's face. He saw his Chamath. He's like, oh, look at this little dude. He's SPACing on everybody's face. I think I want to get in on that too. I'm rich. Everywhere, all over. And so now I've been a little addicted to the SPAC track. I'm not going to lie to you. And, the Robinhood track went down, so I went to SPAC track, and it says that you got a $4 billion SPAC with Ackman at the head. That's like Brett Ritchie. That's like, I'm going to stake you for $4 billion instead of like going to play the 10-20 or the 40-80 mix over there. Now I want you to play $4 billion acquisition game. I want to put you in the big game where they respect your raises. Yeah. What do you think? I mean, it's just got to you're betting, you buy shares. You're just, sorry, this guy's got $4 billion. He's going to play great. That's basically what you're
I mean, it's tough, right? Because you're already buying in at a pretty hefty valuation. And it's really just a bet on Bill Ackman. As we talked yesterday about Chamath, right? If you're buying in one of his funds or his IPO, CBD, whatever.
SPACs.
Yeah, SPACs. Sorry, but they're all you're betting on Chamath. So if you like Bill Ackman, you're betting on. I don't know a whole lot about him, so I'd rather bet on Chamath personally. But I'm sure people are going to buy it.
It's unfortunate that we don't have the video of him on CNBC when like the market is like literally bottoming back in March. He's crying. It sounds like he's crying. He's like, I've been buying all the way down. I believe in the American people. It was great. It's a great Ackman moment. I kind of want it for next time, even though it has no reference then. I still think it's worthwhile. Tony, what do you think?
Crying, man, is something we can always air on this show anytime, no questions asked.
Crying while sailing it in, too. Crying while just buying on margin. Tony, what do you think? Are you an Ackman fan? You ever heard of that guy?
I've never heard of. No, I have heard of Bill Ackman, of course, but these SPACs, I've never heard of anything like this before. I think these SPACs and just the proliferation of these is indication that money needs to go somewhere, and it's not finding anywhere to go. It's seeking yield, and now they're inventing these yield-seeking blank checks. So like, here, I trust you. Find me yield for the love of God anywhere. Just find me yield, So
what if he comes out? What if he pops out with Airbnb? What if he just pops out with an Airbnb real quick in a down market? Then you're like, all right, then all of a sudden you got something.
Then it's a win. But this is money that would otherwise be going.
But why would Airbnb do that? I don't know a whole lot about the IPO structuring games, but they, I feel, could just do a direct listing or whatever. I know COVID kind of hurt them, but I love that company. I'm just a fan of the product personally. So
the only reason why any company goes public, either SPAC or IPO, is to scoop a bunch of money just to grab a grip of liquidity.
Why is Airbnb giving Ackman a big cut of that? I don't know
they
why
need to get that multi-billion-dollar liquidity event so they can keep losing money for the next couple of years.
Do they need him for that?
Run it up.
I don't know enough about it. Do they need him? Why wouldn't they just do it on their own?
Soft, because at a certain level of the series, you go Series D, Series E, then you got to get to SoftBank, and then if SoftBank says no, then there's not that many people with the multi-hundred million, multi-billion-dollar round. There's just not.
They could just go public. People out there. I feel Airbnb could just do what Slack did.
Yeah, but IPOs are so 5 minutes ago, guys. Come on, SPAC it up.
The ticker symbol for this SPAC is PSTH, and we will watch this when they finally SPAC the money off and see what company it becomes. All right. Now to a near and dear part of my heart. The NFT game in the crypto space is bananas. If anybody goes to OpenSea, is one of the biggest places that they're traded. And some of this has gone nuts. This has gone bananas nuts the last month or so. And a company, it doesn't look like the game is out yet, of course. They're going to try to sell a $500,000 NFT. This would easily be the most expensive NFT ever sold. I think Decentraland has some estates and some land groupings that have reached in the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or so, but nowhere near $500,000. I don't think I've ever seen an NFT, even the early CryptoKitties thing. But this company, it's the same thing. You got a digital world, you got land. They're selling the citadels, the Mirandas.
There's 5 of them.
Five. So you could blast off 2.5 million if you need to. There they are.
Yeah.
There they are. Look at these. Brett Ritchie, what do you think? You firing?
No, so I love the concept of NFTs within games, as we've covered.
Go down
before.
just a little bit, Tony. Bring it up just a little bit so this is a price.
I'm trying. It's just not working here.
I hate that it's so heavy of a price right away. Why would I want to play this? I'm not going to spend $500K on one of these things. So like the odds are stacked against me coming in. I would rather have sort of price discovery happen within the game, within the early adopters. You're pricing out a lot of the sort of rabid fans that are going to build your community. I just think it's sort of a mistake. The Citadels give you all this power. So why am I going to spend time developing this game and some asshole is just going to come in, spend $500,000 and blow me out of the water?
I mean, nobody's buying the pre-built Citadel for $500,000. You need a little reverse auction or something, find your, I agree with you, Brett. Find the price discovery here. It would be cool to be like the big daddy of the game, like to really have all the resources if a lot of people like to play, if it was fun for you to do so.
Earn it, or like there's like staking mechanisms, right? If you go play Clash of Clans or something, you have to wait time. There's these certain things that behaviors from mobile games that crypto could actually sort of emulate really well and improve upon. But I don't like the bringing this pay to win model over. I think that there's way more interesting ways to adapt the sort of traditional gaming world with crypto underlyings.
Tony, how much money do you have to have? What's the liquid net that you need to fire off $500,000 on a crypto NFT in a game that doesn't exist yet?
Yeah, you got to be crazy. I wish I could scroll down. There's $500,000 as the price tag listed underneath each one of these fake digital real estates. But NFTs are crazy. They're going to be a bigger part of our world if the use case works out. I mean, you can create NFTs out of digital things, and I think the actual use case is going to come out of a site like Reddit or something. These guys have an NFT and they're trying to force a game on it. I think already existing games are just going to have to adopt this technology, and that's when people will get it. But
I'm with you.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that. I think that if you have a fun game and then you can finally offer the ownership over like a skin, a sword, one special thing that does super cool
Diablo
shit.
4 is going to have this all over it, I bet.
Maybe there's only 20 of them in the whole game. There's 100,000 players, but there's only 20 of the super special whatevers that do something sweet.
Exactly.
I mean, I could see that if you have something fun already and then you tokenize it, but then trying to make something fun because it's tokenized first is just, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't
mind it. Just don't charge $500,000. There's stuff out there that's basically free or very low cost that's going to end up worth more than these things. I guarantee it. Like a lot of hundreds of items out there that are basically worth nothing now will be worth more than these.
All right. I see what's up on the screen right now. And that's actually kind of valuable. That Pershing Square story, it actually on SPAC Track, it has a unicorn next to it. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know. This is not investment advice, but I mean that it has a unicorn. So that is just important. Moving along. JP Morgan, the silver fraud, baby. This is hot.
That's right.
JP3 from this has got to be you, Tony. I mean, if there's a metal shenanigans, it's got to be you. Take us away.
That's
How
right.
did JP Morgan fuck us in the precious metals market today?
Well, us silver bugs have been saying that JP Morgan's been rigging silver shorts since 2008 and before. They've just been caught. We've been vindicated. Previously, we've been called conspiracy theorists, tin hat. Now, after talking to me, guys, clearly I can tend towards that direction. But I mean, it feels good to finally be vindicated on some of this stuff because they've been rigging silver markets for a long time, and it is because of that I've been actually stocking up on real silver. Because again, talking about, I can't even see it. There it is. Talking about price discovery. When price discovery comes to real silver, it's going to the moon, baby. Can't wait.
Real silver being stockpiled by our producer, Brett Ritchie. Are you going to stack metals? Are you stacking sats? Are you stacking stonks?
I like the contrarian move of silver, in my opinion. That's just kind of out of left field to some extent, maybe right center field. But I know it's run up a lot. I feel recently, I think silver hit its all-time high or biggest run. And so I liked more, for me, I feel like I kind of missed the party. Tony was there the whole time. Silver for the last 10 years. I've been like, I don't care. And so I'm happy for Tony. I'm going to have to sit this one out, but I'll always cheer for silver. That's sort of cheering for the underdog. So I'm always happy to see it do well.
Can we show a 5-year on silver? Can we show a 5-year on silver? Is that even allowed here? What's the max?
See.
What's the max you can give me on silver, Tony? That's
do.
all right. I'm not gonna bother you at work here today.
Yeah, it's well, there's year to date, but anyway, this is I think it's setting a new floor here, and I think it's going to shoot up. Let me just look at that. Got a long ways to go. So
that's how your metals guys are going to talk. You're always playing great next week. That's okay. I'm not mad at you because
it'll happen. It's got
time.
to.
It's time, baby. Put your silver away. Get your metals locked up. Make sure that the little trigger lock is on the 9mm there, because it is going to be. The safety glass is on, ladies and gentlemen. It's not investment advice. Do your own research. Market Mania, pick of the day, baby. Comes in. Yeah, pick of the day. Look at the new graphic there. That shows you we take all the money we make, we pour it right back into the show, ladies and gentlemen. All the money, all the gold, all the silver, any derivatives we can capture, right back in. Baby.
Any NFTs. Build our own citadel.
All right, Brett Ritchie. Matt Lance isn't here. We wish him the best. But you are here in the flesh, giving us a pick of the day on Market Mania.
A lot of pressure in the leadoff spot. Matt has done pretty well, so I'm going to try and hold the torch for him. I'm going with SEC Limited. It is a company out of Singapore. It's basically e-commerce and mobile games, which are two sectors that have done really well in the pandemic. They are isolated from the sort of chaos in Washington, being based in Singapore. It's run quite a bit recently, and I still think there's a fair amount to go. One lesson I learned is that you don't always need to look for the wild contrarian play. Sometimes it's okay to just get on the blue chip moving and keep it running. So I'm going with SE.
He's locked and loaded on SE. I'm a fan myself. Make all those video game parts out of Singapore. Tony, pick of the day, first one ever. It's historic.
I gotta go silver, baby. You gotta be taking about 10% of all those picks that you guys are putting out there. Take 10% of your wins, put it into physical silver. Don't leave it in the bank. Put it under your bed. Just have some silver. It's the right way to go in today's market.
He's right, ladies and gentlemen. You just get on an airplane with all of your silver if you ever need to go anywhere, and you just say, like, hey, what's in the bag?
Just
you're like,
play
it's
that
a bag
poker
of
tournament.
silver, baby.
That's right. That's right.
I roll with silver. All right, and my pick of the day, put it up on the big board, Tony. There it is, PSTH. I'm riding with my man Spackman. We're going to go spack on the faces with Chamath over there in the big, at the club. See you at the club. All right, me and my Pershing Square Tone Holdings, baby. Remember, not investment advice. Do your own research. I wouldn't listen to a crazy man throwing out picks on a YouTube show. I don't know what you're going to do, but this is not investment advice. Pershing Square, baby. Okay, that is going to wrap up in a Mr. Rogers-like fashion the latest edition of Market Mania. We do hope that you like and subscribe on the YouTube and follow us on Twitter. We need that kind of validation. You may look around outside, you may check some traditional news media sites and think, wow, the world is pretty messed up today. People screaming on your Facebook at each other. It's fucked up, and we're about to have a big election. But as the words of Afroman often bring me comfort, damn, take bravery to escape modern-day slavery. We'll see you tomorrow, if there is a tomorrow. But for now, it's lights out.
I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. I never sleep if I don't have. I never sleep. I never sleep if I don't have my medicine. Time to right the wrong. So your hands in the air if you like the song. If you're going over there, take it twice as long. Last time ain't talking about Tylenol. Oh, I bet you'd like to know. You can come around the way.
for a pot of gold, never domino, out of control. The usual, get mad cause I'm looking at your girl.
Switch it up.
I do it so much louder than everything you've heard. Everybody heard, got the word that the world wasn't turning. Act like you're in a jury, power of attorney, wow, we're turning. Can't lie like it's Mississippi burning. Don't act like you're in a daze. I imagine should've looked the other way. Couldn't clear space on my mind, was afraid of the time. Strobe lights like in the moonlight. I'm in the mood right now, how about tonight?